Hi, I'm Mark Whelan, developer of MW Tiles. MW Tiles is a collection of OSL shaders that I've been building for some time now. They cover procedural tile maps that I've been missing in 3ds Max specifically, working in architectural visualization. The 5 maps are Advanced Tiles, Ashlar Tiles, Herringbone Tiles, Hex Tiles, and Stone Tiles. Okay, the tiles can be found in the OSL menu under Maps and MW Tiles. Just load a few of them up. They are quite long because they've got a lot of inputs, but hey, it works. Okay, firstly, the advanced tiles. Advanced tiles comes with a few presets to make life a little bit easier. Found at the top. It's got the basics: checker, running bond, stack bond, and so on. We've got ones that we weren't able to do before as well: the double basket weave, mosaic. Advanced Tiles has a mode for chevron patterns as well. And random linear. The main features of Advanced Tiles is the support for multiple widths, heights, and offsets. You can have up to 6. You can show and hide them with the show all widths and show all heights. So in this example, we have 3 widths that we're using: 0.3, 0.6, 0.94. And that's represented by the widths of the tiles there. And the heights, same amount, 3, and that's represented in the heights. The current mode is that it's completely random, but there are other ways to do this. We also have running sequential. So it will sequence. It will do this tile width, then this tile width, then this tile width, with this tile height, this tile height, this tile height in order. And then there's a fixed width sequential, which means that each row has the same width corresponding to its height. You can also sequence the offsets as well if you choose to do so. Just loading up a normal running bond example. What we can also do is we can split tiles. So we can choose to split them horizontally. And so it doubles tile, and then we can choose the amount of segments, so we can split it into multiples. We can also skip a tile evenly. But we can also make that random. So we'll choose a random one to do it, and that also chooses if it's going to be vertical or horizontal. And so you can generate pretty random types of tiles. There's a T-split option, and that just creates a T inside the tile. And moving the split segments for the T rotates the T split. In chevron mode, just load up the chevron. It's controlled by the skew amount. So if it was 0.5, it will 0.5, it will skew by roughly 45 degrees in the UV space. And we have options for multiple grout widths. So currently the grout width is controlled there because there's one. But if we choose multiple, we can then increase them And so each tile can have different grout widths. This is where we also find the corner roundness. It's pretty self-explanatory. Here is where the randomization comes in. So I'll just reset this. You can randomize each tile's rotation. So 10 degrees. It's offset in X. It's offset in Y. We can do random scale as well. In both axes. And an option to scale up as well. Each shader has a UV output. And all the UVs are appropriately following the changes. We can also randomize that. We can flip randomly in U, or flip randomly in V, or do both. We can also swap the UVs. Which might be handy for vertical or horizontal textures that you might plug into them. You can have up to 6 tile colors as well with color variation. So we can increase that to a large amount. There's an edge wear value. Which simulates basically edge wear. So if we do that, and I'll just change the color to white so it's easier to see. There we go. Now the bump is where I've done a bit of work here. So if we just extract the bump into the output map, we have fall off that we can use to mimic rounded mortar or beveled tiles, etc. I'll just do a quick example right now. There we go. And if we plug that into, just decrease this. You can see the effect. We can change the curve type. So right now it's circular. And so if we change that to a value of 1, it should have a convex circularity to it. And then same with the fall off. If we put that to 1, it'll be a concave one. As you can see there, and increase the strength of grout. There we go. The round corners, if we turn that on, round corners are maintained, but this is currently using the sharp corners mode, which we can choose to turn on or off. Sharp corners just maintains the sharpness at the tile junction. In some of the OSLs, we have experimental features for tiling, because right now the OSL is procedural. It can have infinite variations past the current UV coordinates. But if you want to bake some textures, you want to make sure that it's tileable and bakeable, basically. So that's what this option does. So tileable at seed UV boundary. And I'll just change to a different mode. So here's the random linear version. So these won't obviously tile. This will not be the same as this tile. This tile is not the same as this tile, and so on. What the tileable seeds at the UV boundary mode does is it finds which tile's at the edge and it duplicates the seed across to the other side. In the vertical plane, obviously there will be a little bit of a difference. So if you want to render out, it shows a tile guide, and the tile guide shows what part is tileable, and then you can snap that to the UV area of your baking. And all of those seeds that are driving other OSL maps should carry that information over to make baked textures. Next, Ashlar Tiles. So the way this works is, if I zoom out, probably be able to see it better. So the Ashlar Tiles is an interlocking pattern with 9 different patterns that can be randomly put together. This is 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. But the most likely scenario is you'll be randomizing all 9. And control by seed, you can make many different types of versions. This also has tile splitting as well. You can do along the length, the width, alternating or random. So you can make them a little bit more complex if you like. You can skip some tiles if you want to. Has the same grout widths, randomization features, colors, edge wear, and the same bump effects. Herringbone tiles. Just increase the scale so we can see it a bit better. So typical herringbone pattern that interlocks at 90 degrees. You can adjust dynamically the tile length and width, and that changes. So perfect for creating paving or parquet floorboards. Has the same grout parameters, the corner roundness, all works the same way. Has tile split mode, both horizontal, so you can have double and vertical, and also random, with the same skipping options. Same randomization. Can randomize the tile colors. And the same bump options. When creating tileable herringbone textures, the only way to do it is to do it on a 45-degree angle. And so when you turn on tileable seeds or UV boundary, that automatically rotates at 45 degrees. There we go, 45 degrees, and it's copied the seeds, but I'll turn on randomize colors so you can see a bit better. The show tile guide shows the actual tileable region, and then you can see which parts will actually tile correctly. Press fit to UV, and that'll be a perfectly tileable map. And that'll dynamically update no matter what you do. So even if we just increase the scale, there we go. Hex Tiles. Surprisingly versatile, you can do a few things with it. So it's controlled by the hex size if you want. There are vertex modifiers, the flat edge, the point, and the height. So the flat edge is this guy here, this guy here. If we double that, you'll get long hexagons, or shorten it. The point is this point here. You get long pointy parts of the hexagon. And the height pushes these two edges away from each other. So for example, you could do some long tiles, and you could round the corners, maybe a bit more than that. Or just make them circular. Yeah, circular tiles. We also have tile splitting, and the splitter can basically convert each hexagon into quads or tris. So we turn to copy mode, and then there's quads first, and you can rotate that cut if you choose. And then again, triangles and diamonds. With rotation ability. And finally, triangles. You can skip as well if we choose to. And then there's also random mode, a random choice of splitting with all modes. And random skipping. Same options for randomization. And we can also tile at the boundary for the hexagon as well. There we go, and then show the tile guide, and it shows the areas in which it's actually repeating, and then we can fit to the UV space. Turn the guide off, and that'll be a perfectly tileable map as well. Lastly, we have stone tiles, which is based on Voronoi pattern. It's got a couple of options, a jitter value and an aspect ratio on top of the cell size. Cell size controls the size of, well, the cell. But I'll just show you, if I turn the jitter to 0, it's just a grid, and slowly increase that, And you can see it slowly turning into much more random stone tiles. The aspect ratio controls with the squash and the stretch of those. We can split each tile horizontally, vertically, alternating, and randomly for countless variations. And a rotation parameter for the split. The Stone Tiles has all the same options. And it's got all the same options with all the same outputs. UVs for them all. The index for each tile. A tile mask separating the grout and the tile. The bump, obviously. And the color. And the tile rotation in degrees you could use for potentially in the future normal maps if needed. So if MW Tiles is what you're looking for, you can purchase it via Gumroad in the link below. Thank you.